All right, so we are on with Jerome Ferguson here, the co-founder of BEATCAVE. So it's North America's #1 innovator for music experience, for producers, for artists. Very excited to have you, Jerome. How are you?
I'm good, man. Appreciate you for having me on this. I'm so excited.
Yeah, man, yeah, of course. So to contextualize the conversation, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? You know, what you do, where all of this inspiration for BEATCAVE came from, and that story, basically.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess like before BCave, I was in the fitness industry initially, and I was just kind of doing my thing for about 10 years within that industry, and just really wasn't enjoying it. Saw the how like it was affecting my mental health and just like psychologically draining to like continually having to chase people down for their health. And I just found that wasn't really rewarding, and I just found I wasn't necessarily passionate about it as much as I was before. So and then I started like getting into like Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm not sure if you follow him at all.
Yeah, yeah. We all
Okay, yeah.
we all had or have that phase where we go back to Gary once in a while to get pumped up, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I read Crushing in his book, and it was just like when I first read that, I initially applied it to the fitness industry, and I just tried to apply it as much as I could to that, but just realized that yeah, I just really didn't have a passion for really doing it. So then quickly just started thinking about how I can get into the music industry because I really love music. I'm not musically inclined at all. I'm not a producer, I'm not an engineer, I'm not an artist or anything like that. But I was definitely interested to see how I can get into the industry. And for me, one of the things that I found that I was good at was the ability to create community and the ability to make people have a great experience. And then I realized that, especially in Toronto, the infrastructure for music is mainly built for artists and for artists to grow and to learn, which is great. And there's a lot of resources for that. But the issue is that it doesn't take into consideration producers and other and engineers for the most part, I would say. So BCave was initially designed and created for producers, the ability to get in the room with successful producers, business moguls, and just other people within the industry that can give them some great insight on creative process or just the ability to navigate through the business side of the music industry. So we started doing that and quickly started to grow from, our first one was probably at like 10 producers. And then by our sixth one, we had probably like 60 producers come, and we were doing it every month by that point. And then we listened to the community. We're a community organization first and foremost. So then we started to create events that were tailored towards artists and producers and engineers, where we created C.A.M.P, which is basically creatives arranging musical projects. And that's basically, in a nutshell, you have a bunch of producers in a facility, a big studio where there's several studios within this one big facility, and producers are stationed in each room, and artists walk around and lay vocals down on beats that they like, and they'll be able to record music then and there, and then we create a collaborative tape among everyone that's kind of there. And it's been kind of cool to be able to do. We've done that twice. It's a good way for artists and local artists and producers to kind of build together and collaborate and be able to work together into the future. We've seen a lot of that happen, which is like the key thing for us. And then yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of rambling on here. I don't know if you want me to keep going with just
Dude,
like everything.
No. I'm gonna jump in real quick to say,
Okay.
Cool is an understatement when you describe the camp, because I saw the YouTube video. There was a documentary that you guys had put up on YouTube with all the different rooms and all the different
Yeah.
producers going in and out, and you were like giving kind of a speech to the artists in the beginning, and you're like, look, I don't care if you guys don't like the artists. When we close the room, you guys got to work it, you guys got to go at it, and then we're going to create something beautiful. And
Yeah.
that was a really cool kind of project, and to see that these things actually exist, because I have a lot of friends, let's say even back in Europe, where they're not artists themselves, but they have this project or this idea for galleries to support, let's say, artists in a specific region,
Mhm.
right? And it kind of resembled what you're doing here, even though you don't necessarily want to get involved technically as an artist, as a producer. You do want to get these people together and create some sort of a synergy, start allowing
Mhm.
people to collaborate, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly it. And yeah, no, it's been quite successful. We've been able to partner with AudioMac for the last two tapes that we've done, and we've been able to get over 70,000 plays on both of our tapes, which has been quite amazing as well, just to be able to get the artists and producers just exposure to different eyes. Um, but then from there, we quickly realized as well that for our producer community, the ability to get in front of artist managers and A&Rs and producer managers and just other industry professionals that can, help them, get placements or get signed or get other things like that. So we created Global Beatmakers League. And basically what that is in a nutshell, for the most part, is just a Shark Tank for producers. And basically they come in, you pitch their beats. Um, if the people that are scouting, we call them the scouts, if the scouts are there that they like their beat, they could potentially work with them in the future and introduce them to artists, or introduce them to a label, or just trying to be able to kind of connect the dots for them, and be able to yeah, give them some opportunity. So we created that, which was kind of cool. And we're on our second season with that now. So yeah, that's something else that we've been able
That
to kind
is
of do. And then yeah.
that is exciting, man. So you guys are basically the bridge between, local artists or up and coming artists and people already in the industry, and you're connecting
Mhm.
them together, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing.
That's beautiful. So when did you start this? How many years so far?
It's been since July of 2019. We started
Oh,
it
not
then.
that long ago then.
Yeah, no, not that long. And just so many things have come from just like, BCave in general, where
Yeah.
we've also created another, like, we've only been able to do it once because of COVID and everything like that. But last year we had an event called BOOMBAUX, which was it's kind of like a showcasing for artist producers, where they're able to, like, get the aux passed to them, and the aux basically just like something where you can, like, obviously put your phone connected and just kind of
Everyone wants the
play
aux,
music for
man.
people.
Everyone wants the aux.
Everyone, yeah, that's so true. That's the biggest thing. It's very true. Everyone wants the aux, so we give people that opportunity. They come to BOOMBAUX, play their music, but at the same time, we also wanted to involve other forms of art. So we had, like, for that event that we had like a graphic designer, like, doing art right on the spot. We had a clothing brand that was kind of showcasing their clothes there. We had a magazine that was showcasing their magazine, like a visual artist that had his easels up with his art on there. Um, yeah, and then we just kind of created like a industry night. And I wanted to just, like, it's an actual industry night. Usually when you hear that, just like when things are open, but you just hear that, like, hey, you're going to a club with a bunch of people that say they're in the industry, but like nothing really happens. So this event was literally created, like, is the actual, like, creative industry night, where, like, everyone that's in that type of world will come and just kind of, connect with each other. Which was like, which was really cool to do. But I'm hoping that eventually, when things open back up, we're able to kind of do something similar to that. But yeah.
Dude, for sure. No, man. Good for you for taking initiative to do this. I'm actually very curious to understand the thought process that you went through from, the birth of the idea to actually manifesting it to reality. How did that look like? Was it a
Oh,
challenge for you? How was that journey?
yeah. So I mean, initially I created a page called, like, so for me, when I first got in, like, I didn't know what producers want, again, because I wasn't initially, like, I wasn't musically inclined. Wasn't in that world initially. So I was like, okay, what do producers want to, like, need and want? So I thought initially that producers wanted to do like some kind of like beat battle where, yes, I did have the idea of like, okay, a beat battle where, you know, the winner gets to, you know, have a song with a certain artist, right? So that was my idea initially, but I realized quickly that like it was more about building a community, and I wasn't able to do that if I didn't get people together. So that's when I was able to link up with this engineer that is no longer with the business, but we linked up together to initially start the first iterations of the of BEATCAVE. And then from there, just it started to like each time, you know, we did it, it just kind of like just changed how we did it, and like kind of like, you know, changed things up based off of what the community wanted and needed. But yeah, that's how it kind of just came together, with just the thought process of like, okay, what do they need? You know, I didn't necessarily know. And then I saw that Illmind, he did these pass the aux sessions where he literally just got producers to come up, like play their beat, and then, you know, and then from there he gave them some kind of feedback. So for us, creating something similar, but then also adding in elements of like, you know, there's these YouTube Genius breakdown videos of like how certain producers made certain songs, like certain hit songs, and just like the background of like, okay, I use these like these programs, these plugins when I was like doing this and that in terms of like, you know, creating stuff. So just kind of adding elements of like everything that producers can kind of learn from, but also be able to network, but also be able to like, you know, just be able to create as well, I think was just the initial idea of it. And then just kind of, yeah, started to snowball from there.
Right. And so basically what you said is a wholesome experience end to end, right? It's like fully integrated. Everything is there. You step into this event and you're gonna find whatever floats your boat, right? So I want to know, you said that you build communities. So you're a person who knows how to create experiences for people and build communities. So I assume that's something in your personality. You got a warm personality. You're approachable. You like to make new connections, friends, and add people to the tribe. Is that how it is?
Yeah, and I mean, just like my background and years of like, again, like the 10 years of fitness industry, just like in fitness, like the thing about it is that like it's the most vulnerable place for people, because they're coming into a situation where, you know, they feel uncomfortable with themselves, they feel uncomfortable with their bodies, or just like, you know, how they look. So they have to talk about that, which is uncomfortable 100%. And then from there, you know, doing workouts that first and foremost are going to make them feel uncomfortable, and then, you know, make them feel a certain way. So for me saying all of that is just to say that like I've had the knowledge of how to make people feel comfortable and have a good experience based off of like off of that, and just like either teaching them or like teaching them little tidbits, or just being able to, you know, facilitate certain things for them, was something that I was good at. I wasn't necessarily passionate about that industry anymore, so kind of transferred it over to this industry, and just like, yeah, being able to connect with people on a personal level and actually like being authentic, just like actually listening to the music, actually like, you know, finding out what they like, and, you know, and then from there just kind of been able to build a community where we do have like founding members, and we have like, you know, 10 producers that, you know, that come to our events all the time, and just like are really a part of our community. And just, you know, that for us is the key thing. So yeah, and I say us, sorry I didn't mention, but I do run this business with Amber, which is my partner in BEATCAVE. But yeah, so that's the main thing there.
Interesting. Okay. So you were in the fitness industry 10 years, and then you got tired of it, and you started BeatCave with Amber. And do you guys kind of foresee what Beat Cave would look like in the future? Do you have any aspirations for Beat Cave expanding in the future, or do you want to, start a new project? Is this a project, or is this something you want to build on top of over the years?
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be a community where we continue to build off of it for sure, and just continue to do different things and innovate. And that's the biggest thing, is just being able to innovate our events. And for me, first and foremost, Toronto is my home, and just like something where I want to make sure that we're represented in a way where we're showing as much talent as possible, and I want to be in the forefront of that. So for me, that is my main goal, is to be able to provide that for the city. And it's good to expand and move to other cities, but I want people to come to Toronto, like the same way people go to New York and go to LA to like try and make it. I want to be able to create an infrastructure here in Toronto where people are like, shit, I have to go to Toronto to like make it, or to like, be able to get involved with what's going on over there. So yeah, that's the main thing for me. So like for me, like I'm starting to branch off, and I'm going to be doing producer management, as well as just starting a little producer collective. So that's my goal for the next year. But yeah, just in terms of like BCave is just going to continue to grow at innovative events, and just, yeah, if something comes to mind, we're just going to kind of create it. And that's what we're like, that's what we kind of do, is just, if we see something, we just kind of just do it, and not necessarily like wait until like a grant comes in, because that's something else. We've never gotten grants, or we've never gotten any funding from the government. So everything has just kind of been like out of pocket for us. So that's why we just kind of like do it, and and we just hope our community just kind of like rides with us and likes what we're doing, and that's been the case so far. So
that's really important. You mentioned you just go ahead and do it. I mean, I'm sure there are some times where you start overthinking, or should I actually get into this, should I not? But at the end of the day, every time when it comes to it, you do pull the trigger and you do go for it and see what the results are, right?
Yeah,
that's
definitely the main thing.
That's beautiful, man. So okay, I want to know this. You mentioned something about producer collectives. That's a new project that you're working on. If there's no proprietary information, you want to share something about that?
Yeah, well, it's something where I want to be able to like I like to manage, like being able to manage the brand of BCave, and like that has been really, really fun. But now for me to be able to bring to be able to make things that can be recognized around the world. So like right now we're very grassroots, and we're very Toronto based, but I do want to make music that is able to be heard across the world. So for me to be able to create a producer collective that can work with several different artists and create music that we were able to put out as a unit, that is the goal, and the ability to work with major artists and work with new artists, and just be able to develop new artists, and just kind of create that side of things, which is less about community, more about see if we can create like an independent label and see how far we can take it. And that's my goal for the next for the next chapter of it. But definitely BCave is like my baby, and just like something that I'm going to continue to nurture and just like continue to build off of. But I do want to, the tough part about having a community organization and releasing music that you can monetize off of, it creates I don't know, it'll I'm not sure how that will function. So for me, being able to do it on a side project and then potentially bringing it into BCave is something that I'm interested for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you learn along the way as well, right? There are some things you just got to dive into it and then figure out all the details. Otherwise, if you want to start like looking at theory and how this works, how that works, without diving into it, you won't really know, right?
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. And I just trying to be transparent with everyone that I'm going to be involved with, and just like, you know, just trying to make sure that they understand that where I'm at, and like kind of building with each other. And that's the main thing, is like that's what I do, is be the ability to build and building with a team. So I'm excited to be able to do that for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. What you're doing is like you're in the arena, you're trying to fight and figure things out while you're learning and just building on top of that all the time. So more power to you.
Yeah, and the cool thing too is that we're like, I'm able to like learn from a lot of the people that we're able to like, you know, connect with, you know, the people that we're paying to be at these events, right? Because all of these, like we've been able to have Grammy winning producers, engineers, and just like business moguls that manage like, you know, some really great artists, and just like hearing them and their stories, and you know, the things that they talk about it, and what's important, especially being at that level, is something that I've definitely, you know, taken to heart, and just kind of been able to keep those things with me, and kind of move forward with them. So, you know, I've been able to like learn from some of the best people, which is kind of cool. And yeah, and I think that's going to really help me moving forward, and just like everything that I do.
Definitely, definitely. And I do appreciate this whole concept of community and building and collaborating, because that's
Mm.
really the future, man. Like without people, like individuals, they can't really go that far. There's like this African saying or proverb, right? Like you can go fast if you go alone, or if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together, right? And that's the whole
I
concept of,
like that.
yeah, yeah, it's important. Community is very important. So keep building that. I'm in the process of building my own community. So at some point we got to merge our communities, man. We got to like double down on that, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely, 100%.
And
Yeah.
I was curious to know one thing, Jerome. Do you guys only focus on like the hip hop genre, or is it other, genres as well?
Yeah, so that's definitely something that we've been trying to tackle as much as possible, where we don't necessarily want to just focus on one genre. Though, you know, hip hop is definitely the number one genre right now, in the world. It's just, we definitely want to be able to have other have other genres coming out. So like, you know, in September when we do our, you know, camp, where we're going to be going away, for like we're going to be going up north for 3 hours, for like 2 nights. We definitely seen a different type of artist and producer and engineer come out. So I think this is going to be one of those events where we're going to definitely have a wide range of artists and producers and engineers. And like, you know, that's definitely where you get the best type of collaborations, because even with hip hop, it is about, um, you know, the ability to to kind of like innovate off of other genres as well, right? You see so many rappers and in hip hop these days where they definitely merge different genres together, where it's country, or it's like, where it's EDM, or where, you know, they're diving into pop, and just other forms of, of music. And I definitely want to, I definitely don't want to um,
Get
be a
pigeonholed
brand
in
where
one
we're
genre.
just, yeah, exactly, yeah, that's the main thing. So yeah, the ability to like invite other people out that from different genres is definitely something that we're doing right now. And yeah, it's just something that it is a process, because when people look at it, they do definitely think we're mainly hip hop. So it's just about trying to um, add those different elements in there for sure.
So what's that camp that's happening in the summer? Do you want to give any more info on that? Spill the beans.
Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, it's gonna be in South Bruce Peninsula, just as like 3 hours north of Toronto, where we're gonna have about 70 different creatives out there for 2 nights. We're basically going to be, you know, having a combination of creating music, which we do at our camp events usually, but there's definitely going to be amenities that we're going to take advantage of while we're there, just because the camp that we rented out definitely has those different amenities, which is going to be nice. And yeah, the goal is everyone's going to kind of be sleeping in cabins in like groups of 7, which is going to be kind of fun as well. It's going to kind of bring people back to their childhood, which is kind of nice. But just the ability to create music throughout those 2 days is going to be really fun. And just like, yeah, it's going to be like 30 artists, 20 producers, 10 engineers, and then 10 different creatives, where there's just going to be like videographers, photographers, and just like graphic design people. So it's just going to kind of like, again, trying to create a tape, but the ability to get people to connect and collaborate is going to be just as important. And I think that's going to happen a lot during those 2 nights.
100%, man. That sounds exciting, and I want to know, for people listening, how can they find you guys? Best place to go: website, Instagram? Is there any other sources that you have?
Yeah, I'm mostly active on Instagram. So if anybody has any questions or anything like that, it's at beat.cave. Yeah, I answer all DMs and everything like that. And then yeah, we have tickets available for GBL and for our camp that's coming up in September on bcavetoronto.com. So those are and then everything, like we have YouTube, like you mentioned, just like the documentary. You can see how the camp was back when we did it in February of 2020, and then we do have some video of when we did it in November as well. So yeah, just connect with us, and yeah, as soon as anybody that connects with us is part of our community, and we want to listen, we're able to kind of not be so cliquey and not be discriminatory in any kind of way. And we want every type of person or people to come out and and have fun and just feel safe and enjoy their experience, feel like they learned something.
That's the Toronto vibes, man. 100%.
Yeah.
bringing all the talent from all across the world together and collaborating, making something beautiful, building up that synergy, for sure. And by the way, so Jerome mentioned the documentary. I definitely recommend you guys watch it as well, because it gives you kind of like a full walkthrough of what these events are and the extent to which they actually put effort and energy into it. So yeah, more power to you. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we call it quits?
I mean, no, I feel like we pretty much touched on everything. Yeah, I mean, like COVID has been obviously tough, and I'm sure a lot of people have dealt with it, but just in terms of a company that focuses on live events, it was obviously really detrimental to us being able to grow as fast as we wanted to. But we did have, in March, we were able to run a virtual event. And I think the cool thing about virtual events is where you're able to have certain people that you wouldn't necessarily be able to have in person. So being able to have bigger names that you still have to pay a decent amount of money to, but doing it over the internet makes it a little bit cheaper, which is nice, and you're still able to still have the same value. So yeah, in March we were able to have a 2-day conference where we were able to have some big names come out and just be able to help out a lot of producers, artists, and engineers as well. So yeah, I think that's the only thing I wasn't able to mention.
I saw a conference, by the way. That was on your website as well, right? Because I checked out your website and one of the links was to your conference. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. So Jerome, thank you for coming on. We're at about the 30-minute mark as well, so keeping it short and sweet. I'll make sure that I put all the plugs in there as well when I post this, so people can easily access whatever they need to access. And yeah,
amazing.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, man.
Appreciate you having me, man. We definitely have to connect and yeah, definitely merge our
Dude,
communities for
100%.
sure.
This is not the end of it. I'm gonna connect with you outside of this podcast for sure.
Amazing,
All right,
amazing.
take it easy, man. See ya.
All right, man. Thank you.